It's not a newsflash that the weight loss industry has taken a beating this spring. This is probably the worst spring I know from this chair I've ever seen in 30 years in the weight loss, nearly 30 years in the weight loss industry. So the bad news is people are not coming out. You're not generating the leads you have been. Although there was an uptick last week in a lot of markets as the weather broke, and as soon as the weather gets nice again, it'll happen one more time. But it's no secret revenues are down across the board. That's the bad news, obviously. The good news is people aren't spending money on anything with anyone because they're all cramped up at home. The good news also is that these people will come out in droves as soon as the weather gets nice because they're gaining even more weight. Now, I have seen things comparable to this over the last 2 or 3 decades, and it always results in a record-setting April or a record-setting May. I cannot remember a single year other than with the recession for some brands that all of the year-to-date revenues were not made up by May in most markets, if not all markets. That's assuming that you've got certain things in place, which is a conversation for another day. Now, this weekend was a big weekend for the weight loss industry in the New York Times. The New York Times should have called yesterday's Sunday paper the weight loss edition. In the business section, they featured a big story about the new CEO of Weight Watchers, and did an excellent story about not only her, which we've already talked about what a big fan we are of hers on these in these reports, but also about the long-term strategy with Weight Watchers. And it echoes what we've been saying for a number of years now. You cannot survive selling short-term programs in a lot of marketplaces. For a lot of you, you need to be focusing on a 1-year program, and in some cases a 2-year program, especially if you have a storied brand, a brand that's been around 25, 30, 35, and 40 years in some cases. You need something innovative. We have a program called Concerta that no pharmaceutical license is required in your state, that every single person listening to us can use the Concerta program in your medical practice, in your weight loss clinic, in your chiropractic clinic, in your standalone weight loss operation, or whatever it might be. Everyone is eligible to use it. No special licensing is required. It's a 2-year strategy program, and it sells like hotcakes for those that are using it after just about 1 hour of training that obviously we provide. The second story that the New York Times focused on was in the Sunday Styles section, and it talked about overweight brides. We've been saying this for a number of years, that bridal shows, unless you target the mother or the groom of the bride, is an absolute waste of time, because there is no pride in a bride anymore. They're perfectly fine with being 20, 30, 40, even 50 pounds overweight, which is beyond my understanding, but so be it. Good news, it's not all of them, but you can still chase after the mother of the bride or the groom. So, kind of a quick recap. This has been a devastating spring for everyone. Doesn't matter who you are. There's only a small handful of people showing an uptick over last year. People are gaining even more weight, and they're ready to spend even more money. And the industry has the opportunity for you to use programs like Concerta to be successful in your weight loss practice, your medical practice, your weight loss clinic, your chiropractic office, whatever obesity management offering you may provide. If you'd like more information on how IntelliFran may be of help to your operation, click us or call us.